at the end of the day, and I'm going to send this message to everybody in the world. You have three outcomes in the world that I live. And it's always going to be the same three outcomes. I don't give a fuck what you're a part of. You're either going to be dead, you're either going to be in jail, or you're going to be a rat. That's it. That's the outcome in the crime world. Three. Okay, you're going to live the great life. You're going to party. You're going to do all the same things I did. You're going to think it's great. All your fake friends, all the bullshit. You have three outcomes. And I can't name any that didn't have these three outcomes. Maybe a handful out of all the organizations. You know what I'm saying? I can't name people that did not have these three outcomes. I can't name them. Give me 5 people. I mean, give me 5 that never been to jail, that was in the organization, that wasn't killed or wasn't cooperated. Give me 5 guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Crime and Entertainment. Third time here. One of the most popular guests I've ever had on the show. I think you still hold my number one spot, over 130-something thousand views and climbing. It gets comments every day, most of them bad, which I know you don't mind at all.
Yeah.
Please welcome back Gene Borello. Gene, how you doing, my friend?
Hey, what's going on?
So a couple months ago, you done like a LA tour, bro. You and Aralotta, you went on Adam 22, Soft White. You were everywhere up there. Was there anything behind that, or was it just, just a little tour to do your thing?
No, they were asking me to come on, so we did it. We did a lot more. We did like 7 podcasts total. There was other ones we did too, like all kinds. And that's just what happens once in a while because we're the popular ones. So the shows heard we were all down there, and they says, "Let's get them on." You know what I mean? Any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, because I think you had talked to me, and you actually hung out in New York last year, and I think you had met Trap Lil Ross there, and that's kind of what set that up.
I did a what do you call it? A documentary with him.
Yeah, and that's kind of what set up for you to go on Adam 22. How was that? Because he doesn't typically interview like Italian mob guys. How was that?
He reached out to me. He was like, "And I watch all your stuff." He's like, "I want to do one with you, your younger generation." Da da da. So I was like, "Yeah, sure, no problem. Let's do it." You know.
Did you know about him and like all the shit that he does with his wife?
No, I'm not really into. I like rap music, but I'm not into the whole backgrounds.
He's wild. He's crazy.
Yeah, he came on. I was with him at the barber place where he was doing the show with some big barber shop guys.
Yeah,
and they were giving him a hard time. Adam 22 was sticking up for him. To be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah.
Who was giving who a hard time? Who?
They were giving Trapper Loss like during the interview.
Okay.
Like, what he's doing is like not right. Meanwhile, it is because these rappers are talking about the crimes in their music. So how's it anybody's fault? They're getting themselves indicted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I forgot that guy's name, but he's on trial right now. I mean, like he literally laid out exactly what the fuck he did in his crimes in his songs. Like you can't blame if somebody says, "Hey, that guy just wrote a song and said this, this, and this, and this and this actually happened." I don't even consider that dry snitching. I just consider that you being a dumbass.
You're a dumbass. You're a retard. You know what I'm saying? You're getting yourself indicted. They know it. I mean, honestly, some of them want that. They want it.
Yeah.
They do. I mean,
it's that old saying, like, what's the point of being a gangster if nobody knows you're a gangster?
That's exactly what's going on with these rappers. They want to be known. Yeah. As a killer, as a shooter, I'm telling you.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't, we're so far in technology, like, I won't even say in your day, because it was harder in your day, but especially the days before, you come along, it was easier to commit a crime of that stature and it go unnoticed and you go uncaptured. And then you have that reputation and then you can carry that. Guys like Jimmy Burke and, even Sammy, they were tough guys. They were killers. And, you could get away with it back then. But nowadays, like, you're got to be very lucky to commit a cold-blooded crime like that and not get caught or ratted out by somebody. It's just it's very, very uncommon. So,
yeah, absolutely. It's really hard to get away with anything nowadays, especially with the technology, like you said. But these gang members are still doing it. They don't care.
Yeah. You did another stint with Vlad. According to the interview you did, which was hilarious. You did one with Jeff Nadeau that went a little sideways.
Oh yeah.
He got taken that down. Did I hear that you said you were a little tipsy during that interview, or is that something that he said?
No, yeah, I was drinking, but it wasn't important. It's just the fact that he was siding up with Jerry Molino. I don't care. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's no reason to. Jerry Molino don't like him, so there's no reason to side up with him. Me and Jeff are fine now. We talk all the time, but I just
Yeah.
says, don't side up with somebody that doesn't like you. He doesn't care if you defend him. You're not going to get on his show. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's all it was. You
I
know what I
think
mean?
if I remember correctly, I think it was you had made allusions to the fact of Joey in some compromising situations with possibly some people underage, and he was kind of backing that up. But then again, like I've known you for I'd say a little over a year now, and I could tell that he was going where it was going to make you blow eventually.
Well, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know what he thought was going to happen. I'm a different dude. I'm not the other guys. I don't come on here pretending to be a politician or like a nice, friendly guy because I can be, but I can't be in a matter of seconds. I don't really
Right.
care. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you and him are cool now. Y'all
Oh
squashed
yeah,
everything.
fuck it. Yeah, I talk to him all the time. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I mean, I think in this we're all kind of always going to be, you know, I guess I don't want to say coworkers, but business partners. We bounce stuff off each other to a
You
certain extent. There's really no need for everybody.
you gotta
Nobody.
understand. You gotta understand something. Me and Johnny A Light opened the doors for all these guys, and that's what happened. They have podcasts. They have shows based on mafia because of us. We started the organized crime podcast, and everybody has a show now that's in that genre because of us. That's
Mhm.
what happened. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, we started this, so it don't really matter to me.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I'll co-sign on that for sure. Um, so you were featured on Joey Merlino and Snuff Show, and you guys have had a long running feud. We covered that in the very first episode that we did.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you were featured on his Rat of the Month. They had a lot of segments on there. I think it was with another guy named Billy Luna. I'm not really sure who he is. But he was featured on that show. Did you see that show?
No, the guy Billy Luna is a total clown. I mean, he's an asshole.
I don't know him. I've never talked with him. I don't know him.
Oh, the
I've had
guy's a
stuff
fucking
on him.
asshole. Yeah, he's just a complete like has no idea like what's going on. He's just like a snuff. You know what I'm saying? Another one just sits with Joey and believes that makes him a tough guy. You know what I'm saying?
So they played a voicemail, and you may know what I'm referring to. You were upset at a lady, like I guess alluding to the fact she had turned you in. It had something with some jewelry and Ric Flair. What do you know anything about that, or what that would entail?
Yeah,
And why I'm asking you about this is I
it was
want to
like
give
a
you the opportunity to clear the air on it, because oftentimes things are played, things are
yeah.
said, and people don't get the opportunity to clear the air.
I
So
was
what
I
was that?
was I was sleeping with Ric Flair's assistant. That's all it was. And my ex girlfriend was just jealous, and she made up a whole story. That's all it was. It was like such nonsense. So I was in Ric Flair's home before because I was sleeping with one of his assistants.
And you posted a picture with Ric Flair not long
Yeah,
either
Ric Flair.
before or
Ric
after
Flair
that.
hangs out with everybody in Tampa. Ric Flair is a fucking nut. He's an old maniac. And
You know who drives his boat, don't you?
who?
Matt's wife.
No way.
Yeah, she's a marine mechanic, and that's who drives his boat whenever he takes the boat out. The woo, wherever he's got it
Yeah,
parked out.
he's old now. He's nice, but he's always at the Pearl in Tampa. You know what I'm saying? I don't look at him as a celebrity. I just look at him like he's a cool guy. You know what I'm saying? I don't really care about that stuff.
Yeah. So that was unfounded. She was trying to make this was another
Yeah.
girl, not the girl you were sleeping with.
No, it was another girl. Yeah, it was somebody
Okay. So
else.
she was mad about found out that you were sleeping with his assistant and was trying to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That was one of the things that was brought up. I wrote down some of the stuff that they said. There was another thing where it got repeatedly played by a lot of people. And, look, I think when you pull back the doors on people's relationships, people get in fights all the time. I've
Yeah.
kicked many a door in my day.
Yeah.
Uh, I've luckily my father was in sheetrock, so I know how to patch holes. I put
Yeah.
many holes in the walls in my day.
Yeah.
But I guess there was an issue where you and someone, a young lady, was at Airbnb or something along those lines, and you kicked the door in. What was that? Tell us that story, how that happened, and what
Well,
was
she
it?
had my cell phone and my money, and she was being spiteful and locked the door, so I kicked the door down. I don't care. Listen, you gotta understand something with me, like I don't care. Like that's just what it is. Like I'll tell you straight up, I am an aggressive, violent guy, and if you push my buttons, that's what's gonna happen. Like for instance, I'm gonna be real with you, and I could say this 100 times because I'm not bullshitting you. If I run into Joey Molino, I will punch him in his face. Like, that's not fake. That's not like make believe or trying to look cool. If I see him or Snuff, I will crack them on sight. Like, that's just how I am. I'm not a pump faker. So when I get mad, I don't care who you are. I didn't need the mafia to be a tough guy. I was already a bad guy. That's why I got recruited. I didn't get recruited by organized crime because I could dance good. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not what I'm there for. You know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, that's what you make it. They make it like I was recruited because, oh wow, look at Gene, he could dance good. Go put him as a fucking enforcer. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, what do you think I was there for? So obviously, I'm a violent, dangerous guy already. That's shooting, robbing, doing violent crimes. Just because I cooperated doesn't mean I don't have my hothead that I am. I'm a hothead. So when things don't go my way and things get into fights, I act out, and that's just what it is. That's who I am. She locked me out, was ripping my money up, ripping it, and had my cell phone, broke my cell phone, so I kicked the door down.
Mhm.
That's it. You know. No, we could talk into we could go into so many things about Joey Molino. He takes money off people, doesn't pay them back. He's an abuser. He's done 100 times things worse than I have. But like I said, it's just like we go back and forth all day. But what it comes down to is that I'm not lying. If I run into him and Snuff, I'm gonna crack them, and that's just what it is. And then we take it from there.
You're
So that's
saying with no anything
no
initiated, if
talking,
you said you
no nothing. This is how I handle beef my whole life. I don't. It used to be with a gun. If I seen you, I'm just gonna try to pop you. I don't use guns no more. So if I see you, I'm just gonna punch you in the face. It's that simple. So if we're in a restaurant, because I do things, I'm very what's that word? Spot like
spontaneous? Yeah.
right there on the spot. I don't care who's there. I just go. So when I'm in a restaurant or somewhere and we run into each other, I'm attacking him in the restaurant in front of everybody. Like that, I'm gonna make a scene. That's what I do. So for him talking like this, we're gonna see if he could back it up. That's it. That's all it is. That's all it is.
Towards the end of his video, what he was driving home, and I mean, some people might agree to this. I'm not saying it's just him and Snuff, but they were saying that you did those things, but you had cooperated and you were out. It says once you cooperate, you're then given a license to do basically whatever the fuck you want.
I've been locked up like 7 times after I came home, and I did about 24 months since I've been home. So I don't know about that. I mean, you get no special privileges. The government absolutely hates me. I started Mafia Podcast. I brought out 1,000 cooperators. They actually said I ruined cases. They want me back in prison. They do not like me. I have no contact with any agents, nothing. They completely cut ties with me. They do not like what I did. They says that I came home, glorified organized crime, made money off it, hurting people. They are not happy with me in any way, shape, or form. The only one that I had on my side was my lawyer and a federal judge, which is crazy. And that's why I didn't end up doing 5 to 10 years. That's it.
That's on the crimes that or incidences that you've had since you've cooperated and been out.
My dozens of parole violations, arrests. Yes. Yeah.
So you've been back to jail how many since you got out after you cooperated? How many times that you said 7 times?
I've been arrested I've been arrested a bunch of times, but I did time 3 more times.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of them was what, around 2022? That's when you were in there with Sam Freed?
2021, 2022, 2023.
What was the first thing you went back to jail for after you got out and cooperated?
The whole podcast stuff with Johnny Eli and all that stuff.
So they did violate you and send you back for that?
Yes.
Okay.
And gave me 60 stipulations of not of all kinds of stuff.
How long did you have to do for that?
4 months.
4
and
months.
then 6 months house arrest.
Wow.
And then restarted my probation.
How long was your probation?
3 years. They restarted it from day one.
All right. What about the second time?
I got violated for the girl, my ex-girlfriend.
That was that the situation with her father?
Yes.
When you threatened her father?
Yes.
You didn't do anything to her father, but you threatened her to do anything. Would you have?
No, I was trying to get the ex-husband because they sold my jewelry when I was gone. So it was just bullshit. But like I went to the house. I did knock on the door. So yeah.
I think a lot of times what happens, and I'm just speaking on like personal experience, when you get in arguments with somebody, you're going to threaten to do anything you can to get what you want. That don't mean you're actually going to fucking do it.
Well, listen, they had to take it seriously because of my crimes that,
right. Yeah. You're going to be looked at different than somebody like,
Yeah.
well, I ain't going to say like me because I've got, some things in my past too, but an average guy.
Right. So with me, they take it very seriously when I make threats like that. I have shot people. I have done these things. I have
Yeah.
done heinous crimes. I have tied people up. I have done all this shit already. So when I say something, the government says they're going to take it very seriously. You know, I'm not supposed to be out. Remember that. I was a guy that's supposed to come home in his 60s or early 70s. You know what I
Right.
mean? So I'm 40 years old. I've been home since I'm 36 years old. So you know, they take things very seriously. And, I'm a hothead and I fly off the handle and I don't need nobody. I do everything by myself. I roll up on you and that's it. And they understood that. So they put me in jail again and they put me in jail again. And then I went out to Florida and I got locked up out here a bunch of times for assaults and fights and things. And that's just what happens.
When you did like the year around 2022, what was that? What would you get locked up for
2023.
that?
2023.
2023. Okay. What
Yeah.
was that for?
That was for oh god, dozens of things. They were trying to get me 5 years. I couldn't even tell you they had me in the Daily News. The article was this big on page 3 next to Donald Trump. Listen to me. Now you have congressmen that sex traffic kids that do all these heinous things. They won't even put them in the paper. But you'll have Gene Borrello's parole violation this big. Look, life size. I was this big in the paper, and it says burner phones and steroids. Gene Borrello. A whole big article on me. It was insane. They had this like 60-page thing they wrote up on me, and Judge Block was just like, "Get this bullshit out of here." Like, come on. You know what I mean? Like, good try, almost. You know what I'm saying?
Did they
That's
bust
the
you with steroids?
so what they did was they raided a house and looked for my burner phone because I was on phone monetization, which means I can't have two phones. So I'm only supposed to have the phone that everything I text goes to the government. Anything I call or
Oh
text,
shit.
yeah, they had me on the phone. That's what I'm trying to tell you what they were doing to me. So anything I do goes to them. I had a burner phone. I did. I had an iPhone on the low, and they found out about it, and they got it,
How
and
did they
they had
find out?
messaged. They raided the house. They fucking raided the house, bro.
But I'm saying, how did they like pinpoint it to you?
It's in my name. But they weren't looking for it.
Hindsight, that might have been a bad idea.
Listen, no, but here's the thing: they weren't. It was. They didn't care. It just got brought to their attention by my ex girlfriend. They didn't give a fuck, to be honest with you.
Oh,
But
okay.
they
So she
seen that
was
I wasn't.
driving force behind
They
that.
weren't. They when they got the phone, they were like, "All right, big deal." But then when they looked in the phone, they said that I was buying steroids, not selling it. I was. I was buying steroids. I do. Who gives a fuck? Everyone does them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, I was getting steroids, but then there was pictures of firearms in there. But
Ah,
it wasn't about me buying them. It was guys know I love guns, and they were sending me pictures of guns. Like, oh, look at this gun. It's sick, right? But these are legit. Florida, you could own them. Florida, you're allowed to possess firearms. Not me.
you. I was
But
about
they
to say you can't. Yeah, but
so
yes,
they were
you.
trying to indicate that I was like trying to buy a firearm. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
then there was another incident where they said I went into a bar and pulled out a gun on somebody. The guy told the FBI that I pulled a gun on him and that I threatened to kill him and all this stuff. Which, if it was on video, why would you let me stay out? It doesn't even make sense. If I'm in a bar doing this and it's me on federal probation, you're gonna let me stay out for another 4 months?
Yeah.
No, it's a public risk. They're gonna come lock me up in 2 seconds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was all bullshit. So they said I had a gun. That was the other violation. Then they said that I broke every rule. I'm not following the probation. They said I was the worst guy on probation. I had followed no rules. I totally disrespect them. I still do podcasts. I don't listen to them. And Judge Block says, I'm sorry, but he's just not being who he used to be. If you show me that he was being a gangster, I'll give him 10 years right now. Because I was with me, when you cooperate, you go on the old guidelines, which I had 15 to natural life guidelines. So in actuality, he could give me 10, 15 years.
Right.
So he says, I'm not doing that. They wanted 5 years. He gave me 8 months.
Yeah.
They were pissed.
And you.
Wait,
You.
I'm going to bug you out before you finish this. I'm going to really make you show you how much they hate me and everyone can know. The chief of organized crime. His name is Keith Edelman at the time. I worked with him. He's a total dick. He actually prosecuted Trump. I was with, remember, my case was huge in the Eastern District, so I worked with the biggest prosecutors in the building. My case was one of the biggest cases for our time. You know that with Ronnie G and Vinny Asaro and these
Oh,
guys.
yeah. 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 Yeah.
This was probably the biggest mob case of our era because of the names, the money. It was like a real mob case. So I
Yeah.
work with the biggest prosecutors. Most of them are high ranks. He flew down from Washington, D.C. the day I was being sentenced. That's how mad they were at me. He flew in from D.C. to tell the judge I want him to get 5 years. Okay? The lawyer comes in the back, goes, I got bad news. I said, what? I said, don't get 8 months. She goes, I don't know if you are right now. Keith Edelman just flew in from Washington, D.C. I said,
He
what?
flew to Tampa? That was in Tampa, or was that New York?
New York. He flew in
Okay.
from D.C. to fucking New York to tell the judge that he wants me to get the max.
Damn.
Okay? That's what I'm trying to tell you. So they hate me.
Yeah.
All right. So, and the judge block goes, I'm sorry. I just don't see it. Like, he's not being who he used to be.
So
They
for
tried to
that,
present, they tried to paint me as a gangster again. And if
yeah.
the judge, that's how you get railroaded. If they see it, you're being who you used to be, then you're done. You're fucking done. No, don't throw the book at you. He's like, the podcast is not violent. He goes, these things like, if he had a gun, why was he let out to stay out for 4 months? If you know he's running into bars with guns, why was he out for 4 months? It didn't make sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The gun thing didn't show I was trying to buy it. It was more or less I was just saying, oh wow, it's a nice gun. I like guns. I was a gun guy, but I didn't have it. And the steroids, he's like, that's not nothing serious. You're on, that's you're hurting your bone body. It's like you're doing steroids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he kind of took everything and gave me 8 months, and they were furious over it.
Wow. Was that all that took place? Was that when you were in New York or when you were in Tampa?
I was in Tampa, but I still answered to New
But you
York.
violated your New York pro.
You
Okay.
still belong
Okay.
to New
Yeah.
York.
I
Yes.
got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That makes sense. So when you went away, what year was that originally?
2023. That was the last one. Yeah.
No. Originally, your first time arrested, were you done the year and some change in Rikers? What you done? 19 months, right? Before you
19
cooperated?
months. That was 2003.
That was 2003. Who
Yeah. That's
all directly went down due to your cooperation?
who went down with my cooperation.
Yes.
Oh, that's not that case. '03. That's 2015.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm asking. When the
Oh,
big
I think
case
meant when
after
I
you
first got
cooperated.
locked up in my life.
No. Yeah, no.
My case of me in 2000, I got locked up of September of 2014. I cooperated April of 2016. I cooperated almost 2 years later.
Right. I remember you
The
said that
case
on our
was,
first
the,
episode. You did 19 months in Rikers before you ever cooperated.
yes,
And
in the worst
then,
houses, in the most violent, roughest places you could be. Yes.
and if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if we covered it, but I think you talked about it in the Vlad interview. There was a situation with your brother where he got arrested.
Yeah, my cousin set him up. So my cousin set us up with wires and the whole bull crap. But you understand something? The feds were
Your
already
cousin who? Who's that?
Frank Nunziata, this kid. He's the one that wore a wire on us at first,
Okay.
and on me. He got caught selling drugs. I told you the story with his baby with the backpack with the drugs.
Yeah.
So he had brought us all down, brought me down. I didn't know that, but the government was already investigating Ronnie G and all of us way before that. So it was just an ongoing investigation where we don't know because they'll investigate you for 5, 6 years before they come and lock you up.
Oh, yeah.
So when I got locked up in 2014, that was the state that got me.
Mhm.
Then Florida came down with a charge that I did something out there from my cousin, but the lawyer says you have federal problems. I said, what are you talking about? He goes, we have your evidence. It's a 15,000-page wiretap indictment, and everything's blacked out, and you're 2,500 of the pages. This is the government. I says, oh no. He goes, yes, you have state, Florida, and the feds are coming to get you. You're done. He goes, I'm letting you know right now. He goes, you're fucked. He's like, you can't even cop. He goes, you can't even cop out in the state because they're gonna recharge you for these charges.
Hmm.
So they were basically trying to like ping pong me because why? I'm gonna tell you why. I was the key to a lot of things because I was doing all their violence. I know people talk a lot of shit and say, "Oh, geez," I was very deeply involved with these people, and I was very close with them and with them 24/7 and doing a lot of their violent crimes.
Right.
So when they seen that I was in all this trouble, and then Vinny already got locked up for the Latanza heist case, now they're going after the younger guys, which is Ronnie G, Mike Pomacio, all of us now. They're trying to put me in the jackpot because they want the violence that I was doing for Ronnie and them
And your brother gets arrested. What
with
was
me.
with you?
Oh no, not with me. He was already out on bail. We didn't know that my cousin was working. They just got caught up with a gun, but he set him up. We didn't know yet. You know what I mean? So then my cousin was still working, and then when I got brought in, my little brother stood out on bail. And then when I did cooperate, I told them if my brother don't walk, I don't talk.
Okay. So they come to you and brought it to you, or did you call for them?
They came to me.
And they just said, hey, if you cooperate, we'll do X,
They
Y,
got
Z.
they got me with the fake visit. I didn't even know they were coming. I didn't even know they were coming. They hit me with a. I knew something was off because a white shirt, which is like a captain, came to see me for a visit. I'm like, okay, something's wrong here. I was like, why are you coming to see me for a visit? And she looked at me, and I looked at her, and I looked at her, and I go, feds? She goes, I says, all right, let's see what they got to say. Because at that point, I'm already mad. They didn't pay my lawyers. They left me. I'm already pissed off. My brother's going to get 10 years. I had everything against me. Money's gone, everything. So I'm like, all right, let me hear what they got to say. And they basically told me, Rob and Adam, who they're very famous agents, they were on the front page of the Daily News with Vinny Asaro locking him up for the Latanza. When he's on
Right.
the front page, they're the ones holding him. They're Banana Crime Family agents. They've been working that unit for like 15 years. And they literally know more than gangsters about the mafia. And I remember sat with them, and they go, listen. And then a homicide detective was there with them because I was accused of killing people, by the way. I didn't know, but they were accusing me of it.
Mm.
So Rob and Adam says, do you know why you're here? I mean, do you know why we're here? I says, yeah, obviously. This is okay. We're going to tell you like this. You'll never see us again. This is the last time. You are indicted by the government. You will be going over to the feds. You will be spending the remaining of your life in prison, pretty much. We're going to give you the last chance to sign this paper, or we're not coming back ever again. And I signed it. That was
Did
it. It was
you?
a spur of the moment thing. It wasn't planned.
Right. Okay. So that you did you even think about it at all? Was there any
No,
reservations?
no. I listen. If they never came, I never did it. Like it was just like a spur of the moment thing, and everything just hit me. And like, all right, this is my chance of freedom again. They're giving it to me. He's like, and I just signed it.
So you don't think if they ever would have came that day to give it that one shot, you don't think you would have cooperated?
No, I was just sitting in jail. You know what I'm saying? Like I was used to it.
You know, the reason why I give a little bit of validity to that is you did do 19 months before this even took place.
Oh, bro, you got guys
Typically,
that go
people are gonna
like,
fucking cooperate pretty quick.
yeah, bro. Usually they hit the door. They're doing it. I sat up. I tried to comp out the 20 years. Everybody knows that. I tried to take 20 years. They wouldn't give it to me. I would have been happy with 20 years. I swear. You could ask my mom, anybody. I was like, get me 20. I'm happy with that. I'll come home at 47. I'm good with that. You know what I'm saying? They were trying to give me 36.
So you took no time because, like, in the life that you were living, in the life that you were in organized crime, that is the cardinal fucking number one sin you don't
Yeah.
do. When you do it, you're out bad, you're tarnished, your name will never be the
Yeah,
same.
but
Yada, yada, yada. It's all
at
the
the
shit that comes along with it.
at the time there was like 6 guys on my case wearing a wire. I mean, I was the last guy to go bad. There was 17 informants. Our boss already cooperated. You have multiple, it was like a joke almost, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't want to do it because I loved my name and I loved everything that I created and how scared people were, all that shit. But I just couldn't believe how they left me like that. And it was like, I understand, like, everyone's out for themselves, but like when your boss is worth $35 million and you're asking for a federal lawyer and he tells my mother what happened to all your money, that's a little bit of a fucking crazy statement. You know what I'm
It
saying?
seems that that is the underlying theme. It's definitely a lot of the reasoning why people, because I've interviewed quite a bit of people who've informed. I've had Anthony Ruggiano on, I've had Anthony Aralato on, I've had
Right.
Bobby Luisi on.
Well,
Not everybody's the same, but that's the underlining
I want
reason
to,
is they get
no,
quick
but
taken care of.
I want to say this, and I always say this in all my podcasts because I don't make excuses. But at the end of the day, I also didn't want to die in jail. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm going to be 100 of you. I didn't know at the time, me sitting in Rikers, I never come. I'm just sitting in jail. I don't know. They never came. I'm just going to do my time. They came. I seen the opportunity. And I took it.
Well, even then, just say you did get a 20 piece, you're still getting out in what, your 40s? You
I was
got it.
happy. I was happy with the 20 piece. When I was
Yeah.
already settled, look, at first I wasn't, but when I was settled in, I had 19, 18 months in, I'm like, yo, just see if you give me 20 years for everything. He goes, there's not a chance. They want you to cooperate. So why would they give you 20 years?
Right.
Vinny Asaro just beat the Latanza heist case. You think they're going to give you 20 years? You could put him back in jail. You know what I'm saying? Do you believe they're going to hook me up when I'm the last guy that worked for this man? It was the biggest upset in court history. It was more media attention than any mob case ever in the history. You think they're going to let me go?
And they had bodies on him and him talking about murder. How the fuck did he beat that case?
So the comparison when you talk to the prosecutors, like I sat with Nicole, who was the head of that case, and she says the chances of him winning the case is like this. Ready? Ready? You get up in the morning, you go into the store, you buy $1 lotto ticket, and the lotto's $1 billion, and you win. That's the chances of him winning the not guilty, no charges. That's the comparison she gave to me. That he basically hit the Mega Millions.
Jesus.
It don't happen. He was admitting to where the body was. They found the fucking bones. You understand what I'm telling you?
Who was it? You know who it was?
Yeah, Paul Katz. They killed him. He strangled him on a dog chain. He buried him under Jimmy Burke's house. Him and Jimmy Burke killed him. The Robert De Niro played him in Goodfellas. So my
Right.
boss and Robert De Niro, the real guy Jimmy Burke, they killed Paul Katz. They strangled him with a dog chain. They buried him under the house. He told Gasper, who was wearing a wire, I had to move him. I put him. My son moved him. That got Jerry 7 years. And
Right.
they went to the place where he moved him, but there was still bones there of Paul Katz. So they
They didn't
found
get them
they,
all.
they didn't get all of it. So they found the bones that were under Jimmy Burke's house.
Did you get called to move that at one point in time?
I think it was. I just didn't know.
Okay, you didn't know who it was. You didn't ask the
I
question.
didn't. So this is crazy, and I've told this story before. He called me 3 in the morning. Like, he's obviously not going to say what it is, but when he told me, he says, "I need you to move something." I knew it wasn't a couch. You know what I'm saying? And I knew it was a furniture at three. This guy's 80. This guy's 80 years old. He's sleeping at 8 o'clock. I'm like, why is he calling me at 3 in the morning? This is 2011, by the way. And he goes, I might need you to move something. And then he ended up not doing it. But I knew, like I said, it wasn't a couch. I knew it could have been that one, but he had multiple murders because he
Right.
also had Maurice Wiggs from Goodfellas was on his fencing property at one time. This
That was
guy
what,
had,
Marty Krugerman?
yeah, that was on his fencing property, bro. Yeah, so he had so many murders. This guy, who knows? He knows where the bodies are. Maybe they're doing construction. Maybe something's going on. He wants it moved. He don't want it to be found. Vinny didn't leave his bodies in the street. He put them on the ground, old school.
Yeah. And I
So
mean, they even played that part out in good, not that particular part you're referring to, but when when Billy Bats got killed later on, they had to go dig it up because that property was getting developed. So
that always
an
happens.
uncommon
That
thing.
always happens. So I remember he wanted me to move something. Like I said, I'm not gonna lie, he never told me it was a body, but it had to be.
Yeah.
What am I moving for you? Like I said, it's not a couch. Like, what am I moving at 3 in the morning?
Now,
What's
do
going
you have
on?
any sort of reservations that you're getting a call to come somewhere at 3 in the morning? Because that's not always the best sign either when somebody's
Oh, I thought
calling
I
you.
was getting, yeah, I thought I was also in trouble. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I was always doing bad, fucked up shit. So who knows? You know what I'm saying?
All right. So a minute ago, you said when everybody was cooperating, you had wiretaps on you. Everybody else was quiet. You said the boss was cooperating. Which boss are you referring to?
Joe Messino crap. I'm just
Okay.
saying, like, all of it. There was already 1,000 rats that like I was on the bottom. And listen, in the organized crime world, I was working my way up, but I never make myself more than what I was. I was a big piece to my crew because I brought the fear. But at the end of the day, I took orders. So it's not like I'm the shot caller. To my guys, I had a crew of 10 guys. Yeah, I'm calling the shots, but to my people, I'm on the bottom. I'm an associate trying to become a member. You understand? So it's like, they're all
You have one of the
cooperating.
guys working up under you too, right? One of the
I had the grandson with me. That was one of my main guys. Yeah, sure. Little Gotti, John. Yeah, that was my little guy. Yeah.
So when do you think, because in the early days, in the heyday of the mob, when you had, the Lucianos and Bugsy Siegels, Meyer Lansky's, there was a code of silence that existed that protected a lot of those guys for a long time. A lot of those guys didn't do a lot of jail time.
So let me ask you a question. I'm going to tell you this. I'm not just saying this because I cooperated, but there was a lot of words that they were working on both sides. Like what they were.
I've heard that too. Yep.
I know for a fact some of that's true, where they would literally give up their rivals. So Sicilian, the back in the day, they were doing a lot of underhand shit. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And they even say Carmine says Snake Persico was doing that. There's a lot of guys they claim that were doing that, and you would
I've
never
heard
know.
Gambino did it.
Yes. So, like I said, that's why I said it's fake. The oath, it's all about like what you could do now for them today. You're only as good as your last dollar. It's all bullshit when you break it down. It's all bullshit. We're high class thugs. That's all we are, bro.
But when do you think the domino fell that brought the house down, where it was not a big thing to cooperate? Like you said, by the time you're
Oh,
sitting and
after
done that
Gotti,
too much, everybody's cooperating. You
after
think
Sammy
Gotti,
Gravano, after Sammy, that was it.
it was just a no brainer that it was
Yeah,
9 times
that's
out of
it.
10 you're going to get a cooperator.
Because the deal he got, it always the government is very smart. They did that purposely, and I'm gonna tell you why I did that purposely. They showed that if you help them, it don't matter what you've done. If you give them what they want, you'll get a second chance in life. He got 5 years for killing 19 people. Do you understand? That's insane. That's the best deal you will ever see in a lifetime. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
that's the biggest fucking sales pitch to organized crime the
There you
government has
go.
ever
You
made.
said it right. And the agents told me that themselves. They says, well, think about the message we send. Not only are your bosses cooperating, but we'll let you out again no matter what you do, as long as you help us. You know, it's sick, but it works, and it worked. And think about it. I know so many of my people and friends that have dozens, 6 murders, 7 murders. They're cooperating, getting 6 years, bro, 7 years for 7 murders. Kill 7 people. You're getting a year a body. My friend Joey Caves killed 7 people. Execution. He got 8 years. He cooperated against the Colombo family. Joey's a serious guy. I bunked with him. He was blowing people's heads off, digging holes, dude, pulling them out with meat hooks. Psycho. And this guy got 8 years for 7 murders. And he killed a cop, one of his murders.
God damn.
Yes. They killed a cop.
Was a
But
regular, like regular cop, not a cop on the take, a regular cop.
So what happened? I'll tell you the story real fast. Big Dino, Little Dino. This is a known crew in Brooklyn. They were the most feared crew from modern time. Joe Waverly. I'm sure you heard of Joe
Yeah,
Waverly, a
yeah.
Colombo boss. A cop was sleeping with his ex-wife, but they didn't tell him it was a cop. Joe Waverly didn't tell him it was a cop. Joe goes, "I want this guy killed." They went and killed him. It turned out to be a fucking cop. They were flipping out. It was on the news the next day. They killed him by a gym, and they were flipping out. This is like 1999, and they wanted to kill him for doing that because you're not supposed to kill law enforcement. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Mafia don't believe in that. So this guy went and abused his power, ordered them to kill this guy. Turned out to be a fucking cop. Yeah.
And then sometimes even when you do cooperate, like if you're not 100% with everything you do, you can still get kind of fucked over because
Oh
Gas Pipe
God.
cooperated
Oh
and
God.
he had the mafia cops working with him, what Louis Eppolito, Stephen
Listen.
Caracappa, and he still done not life. He
Listen,
died what last year?
well, I'm gonna tell you why. See, I was in the unit where he was, and a lot of guys knew him. He beat a guy with a baton in there. He made a slapjack and beat a guy nearly to death in there. That's why they did that to him. He was going home. He would have got a great deal. He actually made a fucking baton and beat a guy with it.
So that's why they fucked up. I thought it was because he
Oh,
lied on
they
something.
said you're still being a lunatic. We
Right,
can't
yeah,
let you
yeah.
out. You're not changing. You're fucking still trying to kill people in a witness unit. You know what I'm saying? So I know firsthand. My friend was locked up with him, Teddy DiButoro, who's been in jail 42 years. He cooperated and got fucked over out of Philly. He's the one that blew up the Chicken Man Philly tester with the nail bomb.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was great. He wrote my book with me. A great friend of mine. He's been in jail 42 years, and he cooperated, got life still. They screwed him, and he was with Gas Pipe, and he told me the whole thing, what happened, and that's why he got the deal he got.
So what is the deal that you need to make? I mean, do you need to have a lawyer with you? Like, how are some of these people getting
No,
fucked over, and then people are
they're not
getting
getting
deals
fucked
like
over.
Sammy
So
and you?
New York has the best cooperation system. Other states do not have it like New York. So when New York does a cooperation system, it's a lot different. If you cooperate in other states, if you have a murder, some of them will say nothing under 20.
Okay.
With New York, I know guys, it's the best. I'm being honest, I hate to say it. They make it so sweet for you. It's like if you have a murder, that's nothing to them. Like, all right, you got a body, yeah, 3 years, 4 years on cooperation. It's different. Other states are still very bad. If you have a murder, like Chicago, they were telling all the Latin kings I was with, if you got a murder, nothing under 20, you're getting 20 years, no matter who you tell on.
Wow.
Yeah. So in New York, don't have that. You'll cop out to a 6 life sentences, but with the cooperation, it becomes 0 to life. And the judge, 9 out of 10 times, if you do what they want, you're out. You're gone.
But
Six, seven.
Gas Pipe was in New York. Was it more or less
Yeah,
just
but
what he did inside the?
he beat a guy. He beat the guy up bad. That's you can't do things like that. That's not good. Going, that's not good. You
Because
know.
I mean, I've heard that not necessarily from people that I've interviewed, but I've heard stories of people that did cooperate. People did go to jail. It was a successful hit for the government, and then they still didn't get anything
Well,
off.
not anything, but like you did better than what you were going to do. A lot of states are
Yeah.
like that. So, like Virginia, there's no point in cooperating. In Virginia, they're so strict, like with the MS-13s, which who even cares? They were cooperating for 40 years, 35 years, just to maybe get out again. They were not giving them, and they were telling on everybody murders, this, that. But if you were cooperating at a certain district or certain circuits, which is Virginia's one of the worst, Florida's one of the worst, Texas, they're not hooking you up. You're getting 20, 25 years for murders, still 30 years. In New York, you're walking out the door with 10 murders. I'm just being honest with you. It's fucked up, but it's the truth. So they used to all get mad at us because we got the best deals.
Yeah.
They used to hate on us in there. They'd be like, yo, I got 20 years. This guy got 5 years. He killed 7 people. I only killed one. They used to be bugged out. You know what I'm saying? New York's a different system.
I think that all just depends too on the situation. Because you remember the guy we hung out with, Andre, his was attempted murder, and they gave him a 40 piece. Now, thank God he got out, but
Well, he blew trial. When you blow trial, you always get the max.
Oh,
They
okay.
don't even hold 40 years attempted murder unless you blow trial. They ran them wild. That's all that happens.
And that was
Yeah.
the lawyer. The lawyer that he had originally was the one that got tied up in something. I forgot his name. He had to go in the WITSEC too. What was that lawyer's name?
I forgot, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah. Vinny Gorgeous' lawyer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That was wild. He fucked up a lot of people in that too.
Yeah.
So once you made the decision to cooperate, everything's kind of falling down around you. It was a no-brainer. You signed it on the spot. You know, right then and there, like that part of your life, which was a huge part of your life until that moment, that part is dead. As far as going back into it.
I didn't know how fast it was going to hit gangland. I knew it was going to hit fast, but it hit like as soon as I got taken out in April and put under my fake name, gangland knew like that day, bro. It was crazy. They had the article up like that day.
So when you say you were taken out of prison?
No, to another spot under a fake name. They put me in a regular county jail under a fake name to hold me.
Can you say the name?
Yeah, Somerset County. They put me in Somerset County, New
No, the name
Jersey.
they gave you.
Oh, Joseph Russo, Joey Russo. They put me in the Joey Russo. I was there for like a year because they had to get me in the Woodstack units, and you have to take lie detector tests. You got to get approved to go in there. Remember, these are the high profile people in the country are in there. Some of them, telling on cartels, crazy shit. So, I was with a lot of super high profile people, so they can't just let you in those units. And it took me a year to get in there, and then I went into the Woodstack, the Farrington unit.
And where did you go when you went into WITSEC? Where did they place you?
Jersey, Farrington. It's a regular jail. It's just a different part of the regular jail.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, I meant
there's only six. There's only 6 WITSEC units in the whole country.
Okay, so you were still. When I say WITSEC, I meant like out under a fake name.
No. We were just in the jail where it's a WITSEC jail where all cooperators are in there. High profile people telling.
Okay. So did you have to stay in jail until the trials? And
oh yeah, I did 6 years. I still did 6 years, bro.
So you did 6 more.
Yeah.
After that.
So
all total, you did what? 8 years? Right at 8 years, somewhere along in there.
But total of my life, I did 13 years total of my life. Yeah.
So who all went to jail after that? Ronnie G. He went to jail due to
they were already indicted. I just added to the stuff. That's all it was. Like everybody that got locked up was already indicted, but I just added charges. That's all it was.
Okay.
That's all it was.
And is he out or coming home?
No, I don't think so. They said he was supposed to get out on medical, but from what I heard from someone, that's bullshit.
Did Vinny didn't face any charges for anything you cooperated for, did he?
Yeah, he did.
He did. And he beat him?
No.
He
was sentenced to 9 years.
Okay.
And got out during COVID because of the COVID.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So when he did go to jail, it was for what you had testified.
Yes. Yeah. I didn't testify. I didn't go. He copped out.
High-profile guys?
He copped out. Yeah.
Okay. So he didn't even go to trial with that.
I never did no trial.
All right. Did you talk to either one of them after you cooperated?
No.
Did you want to?
No.
You were tight with Vinny, though, right? I mean, you guys had a pretty strong relationship. I don't want to say to the extent of father and son, but I mean, it was close.
I was fucking close to Vinny, but at the end of the day, when I was in the room, they says don't, because I was trying to leave him out. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
And they're like, you better stop. I'm like, what? They're like, stop. Like, we know what you're doing. Like, we have information that you've done dozens of crimes for this guy. I'm like, all right, well, I'm just saying he's old. There's really no point, but they wanted him.
Did you have to testify in a courtroom with him in the courtroom?
No.
So you never seen a courtroom at the same time as Ronnie or Vinny?
No. Yeah.
And I guess when they realize that you've cooperated and they know what they've done, did Ronnie do a plea too?
It was all over the all over the place. It was all over the internet.
Did Ronnie do a plea too?
Yeah, he copped out. They gave him 14 years. Yeah.
All in all, I mean, 14 years is a long time in jail, but it's not the end of your life.
No, and nobody's lives. And they, like I said, they were already indicted. His childhood best friend was wearing a wire on them, Ricky Kessler. I'm saying, like, they were going to jail regardless without me, but I brought a lot of the violence that like hurt them because I was doing shootings for them. I was doing wild shit for them. So that brought like, if you blow trial, these are RICO shootings, you get life in prison for those. Mm-hmm. If you blow trial to a RICO racketeering conspiracy to commit murder with the attempt, that's natural life. Mm-hmm. So you don't play with that. If you blow to those charges with the violence, they'll put your lights out. You're never coming home. So usually people cop out. You know what I'm saying?
looking back now, like, would you have done anything different? Would you have took the 20? Had they
They
offered
were
it
never
to
going to give
you?
me 20. If they, yeah,
Had
if I
they
could,
offered it to you, would you have just taken it?
yeah, I'd never be here. I was happy with, I told you I was happy with 20 years. I was happy with that.
Are
Uh-huh.
you are you still happy with your decision to cooperate?
Yeah, now I am. Yeah, absolutely. I live a great life. Yeah.
Is
I
there
make more. I make more money now than I ever made before. Like I was legitimately 5 months ago, I was almost a millionaire. Like straight up, I'm just bad with money. I was legitimately almost. You could basically say I was a millionaire 5 months ago.
why are you bad with money?
I'm just bad. I'm a bad spender.
On what?
Everything,
Partying, shoes, gambling,
cars,
all the
gambling,
above?
everything. Like I blew through like 600 something thousand in like 3 months.
God damn.
Yeah, I'm bad.
You
Yeah,
got what's that car you have? That blue car? That's yours?
A McLaren 570S,
Yeah, that probably took most of
and
that.
I own these cars outright.
And then you just got it back. What is that? A Hummer or Humvee or something
Yeah,
like
the
that?
H1 customized Hummer. Yeah,
Jesus. What's
I'm
the if you don't mind me asking, what's the ticket on something like that?
60.
60?
Yeah, yeah.
Looking back now after everything, if Ronnie was to get out, if he does get out, I mean, I know he's going to get out soon anyway, but provided he's, makes it, would you ever have a conversation with him if he wanted to have a conversation with you?
He would never have a conversation with me, but yeah, I know Ronnie. Ronnie's a gang. Ronnie's a legit tough guy. You know what I'm saying? Ronnie's not no punk. And
Yeah. I
I,
don't mean in a
no, I'm
physical
saying, but like
altercation
he's
sense.
not. No, he's a gangster to the core. He's not having it. No, he's
He
gonna go
wouldn't.
right back to the mafia. He's never gonna leave.
You think so?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. That's his life till he's dead. Oh, that was my life till I was dead. I just didn't like the way things turned out. But if I was doing my 20 years, I would come home like nothing's changed. I'd still be on my shit. You know what I'm saying? That's how we were. You know?
So with what is it just because the way you grew up and that was the lifestyle? Because like you're saying now you're making more money now than you ever did when you were with the mob. And I'm assuming you're talking about legitimate income. So
Yeah.
what what now are you doing different than what you
Well,
can do then?
it's my platform that gave me all this
Yeah,
opportunity.
yeah.
So like you gotta understand
Without
something.
that, you wouldn't have it the way you do now.
Right. So if I didn't live the life that I lived and do this, I wouldn't have the platform that I have. I have a best-selling book. You know how hard it is to sell a book? I mean, I have a
Yeah.
New York Times bestseller. That's hard. You know, I have over 100 million views on the internet. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like I got all this opportunity because people love the way I talk, the way I act, the whole thing about me. So that's how I make the money that I made. You know what I'm saying?
Even content creators such as myself, and I've heard, people bash guys like Jeff and Adrian Martinez and other guys and even Vlad for like hosting cooperators, but like I don't really give any subscription to that bullshit because like we're
Oh,
not
what do you
in
mean?
fucking life. Like
So,
that's
so, so,
what we
so
do.
who are you going to interview then? Of course, they want to hear
Exactly.
from us.
I've
Who's going to give
always
you?
said that.
Listen, we're the cooperators. We could talk about the gruesome crimes. We admitted to them. We're allowed to. It makes no sense what they're saying. German lives on black going, I don't know what you're talking about. No, about the bluff. Like, it was the stupidest interview I've ever seen in my life. Vlad said it was the stupidest thing. Like, Vlad hated it. Like, he was so mad about it. And, like I said, you
Well,
want
I
to
don't
talk
know
to the
where
guys like us.
I can't blame Joey on there on that though. He's not going to go in there and admit to
But
getting
why did he go on then?
anything.
You know, why are you going on there for what? Exactly. So Vlad was mad. Vlad was like, you wasted my time. You know what I'm saying? Like, Vlad wasn't happy with that interview. It was horrible.
Yeah,
And,
but I blame Vlad for that though. I mean,
yeah,
what do you,
Vlad's cool.
what the fuck you
Vlad's cool
think?
as hell.
No, I agree. I'm sure
Yeah.
he's cool, but I'm saying you can't be mad at the man for coming on there and being
Yeah,
selective for what he says. He knew who
but
he had on there, who he alleged
yeah,
had
but
on.
it was just so stupid. Like the interview was ridiculous. Like it was just stupid. Like he's trying to like prove he's still this gangster, but you're on the internet and no one's looking at you as a gangster no more. Like give it a rest. You know what I'm saying? So honestly, that's what he's trying to prove. Like I'm still the guy, but you're not at all. You're shelved. No one respects you like that no more. Like it's over. And he should just be sitting with us and talking and arguing with us, so we get more views. You know how much money? Let me be honest with you. I'm gonna be real with you. If he was to ever sit at a table with me and have a debate, that could go pay per view. And people would pay, and we would make tons of money for me and him to sit across the table and go off on each other. People would pay to see that.
No, I believe
100%.
that. I believe that.
They could put that on a fucking pay per view event that me and him might go at it in that fucking table, and people would pay to see that. All right, I'm telling you.
Yeah,
Okay,
I believe that.
so it's just like he's just trying to like keep this persona up, and it's not going nowhere. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, he's a very charismatic guy, so I think that adds to it. And then at the end of the day, no matter what
He's a
anybody
dick.
says a
He's
thing.
not. He's a dick.
Well,
He's not.
he's got a certain aura about
He's
him.
not friendly at all. I mean, I know a lot of people that know him. He's not a friendly guy at all. I hope you know. He's not like how we are. He's like a dick. Like one guy asked him to go on the podcast. He told him 30,000. Who the fuck you think you are? $30,000. The fuck out of here.
I don't know what people think podcasts make, but they don't make 30,000. I've had some of the people offer like crazy numbers.
No, but the thing is this: he's saying that's his value. He don't care what you're making.
Right.
I'm understandable because like I'm a high demand on podcasts, right? Like I get DMs all day to come on podcasts, but I'm not going to tell somebody 5,000. You know what I'm saying? But I do tell people $1,000. I will tell people 1,500. You know what I'm saying?
If the right platform is there, if somebody's got under 50,000 subs, they're not going to bring the money to justify to pay $5,000 for an interview.
A lot of people want me on because I blow people's podcasts up. So it's like for them, it's beneficial. Hey, I'll lay the money out of my pocket because Gene Borrello's going to come on and talk some shit, and I'm going to get 200,000 views and get 5,000 new subs. So it's like to them, they feel it's beneficial. You know what I'm saying?
It's an investment.
You got to think about it. Think about it like this, right? Since we've all been out, the ex-mob guys, right? How many of us are really still left that get a lot of views?
Not a lot.
Not a lot. And you know who's still standing? You got him on your show right now. I still smoke everybody in views pretty much. Think about that.
You want to know why I think that is, though, in my opinion?
Why?
And I've actually talked to you about doing the opposite of this, but it's because you don't have a show.
Right.
So even though you're out there, you're not saturated down. So like Michael Francis going on shows nowadays isn't going to garner the same views because like he's told his story, very, very much. Everybody kind of knows the ins and outs of it. He's not going to be able to change it too much.
But wait, what else do I have that they don't have? I'm always in some shit. I always got stuff. They want to hear about what's going on. So my views don't only come from my story. It comes from, well, he's beefing with this guy. He's arguing with Joe Merlino. He got arrested again. Here's this. Here's his mugshot for the 17th time. You know what I'm saying? So like when I come on, it's still like new shit to talk about, It's just basically, I just beat an assault case 3 months ago. You know what I'm saying? It's like new shit constantly is always emerging in me. So that's why I'm always getting all these views because they want to see what's going on, who I'm going to curse out, who I'm telling to suck my wife. It's just, that's what they want to see. You know what I'm saying? That's just the truth. People love controversy, and I create that.
100%. There's a book. I mean, I don't know if you were a wrestling fan coming up.
Yeah, but, huge wrestling fan.
Were you fan when the NWO was popular?
But I was obsessed with wrestling growing up. Yes, my favorite wrestler of all time is Bret the Hitman Hart. That's my favorite wrestler.
All right. So in the NWO, Eric Bischoff was the kind of creative genius behind.
My friend hangs out with Eric Bischoff and his son.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Is he in Atlanta or where's he? I thought
he's here in Florida. They're in Florida. My friend Eric hangs out with them all the time.
Oh, that's right. Is he doing something with that promotion, AEW or something down there?
Gary Busey. He's with Gary Busey all the time, the actor and his son, all the time.
Okay. Yeah. So Eric wrote a book called Controversy Equals Cash.
Yeah.
And that was kind of his motto when he was doing the whole NWO thing was they made it real. They took away I can say make it real. They brought a realism to it. Like Razor Ramon and Diesel were using their real names, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. Yeah. They were making it seem like they were still WWE. So he brought that level to it and it created controversy. And that statement is true in everything. Controversy does equal cash. You look at the most polarizing guys in sports or anything like that. What sets them apart from everybody else is the controversy. Floyd Mayweather, Conor McGregor, Ric Flair, guys like that. And I know that's wrestling. It's not real combat sports, but you get what I'm saying. The brashness, the shit talking, the always doing stuff. There is something to be said about that. And if you can harness that and channel it in a way to benefit you, it can be very beneficial.
It is. And, I can tell you, like, for instance, like, I remember, and we're going to talk about Douglas Anton, who's a huge federal attorney, personal friend of mine. He does my celebrity stuff, you want to say. He was R. Kelly's lawyer, George Clooney's lawyer. He's a huge attorney. And when I first came out with my book, me and Louis Romano went to him and he's like, Gene, I'm telling you, books don't sell no more. I just got a rock star big book and they don't sell. I said, all right, I'll bet you a dinner that I get a bestseller. He's like, there's no way. I got a bestseller. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why did I get this book? Why did mine sell and other people's books don't sell? You know how many ex-mob guys came out with books? They didn't do anything. They
Yeah.
sold 100 copies. Nothing. I sold 15,000 copies plus thousands of autograph copies that I sold myself. So I've sold probably over 20 something thousand books as a man that walked out of jail and literally just wrote a book about my life. Why is that? Controversy.
Yeah.
Because when I was on the Johnny and Gene show, I was a foul mouth fuck. I was fighting with everybody. I created this fan base around the world, and they love the way I operate and the way I talk. So they latched onto me, you know?
Well, and you want to know the odd thing about it is like you said, you had a fan base. You share these things on your Instagram with people DMing you from all parts of the world,
Yeah,
Australia, Scotland, fucking, all over the place.
yeah.
You have probably equal amount of haters, if not more.
Yeah, well, the haters hate me, but then they'll message me and go, "Oh, I don't like what you did, but I respect the way you talk." It's funny.
Well, and that's what I'm going to say is like, and then they comment more than the people that like you. I think
Well,
you get the views, but people that like you, but the haters always
well,
comment, so it's beneficial.
I'm gonna tell you what gets them mad is because I'm tough, and they hate that because they know like I'm not like slouch, like you're not gonna just say nothing to me, so it gets them mad because I'm like, what's up? Like I don't give a fuck. You want to fight? We'll fight. Like so they hate that because like I'm not just trying to be like, oh well, I'm like fuck you, eat a dick, let's fight. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that gets them mad. You know what I mean? So I love that shit. I love listening. I can't sit here and lie to you. I love drama, and I'm not gonna sit here and bullshit you. When I was younger, I love beefing with people. I love going after the guy. Nobody says, "Oh, you can't touch that guy." I love that stuff. I live for it, and I still do. So, like with Joey Molino, I love it. I'll do this shit with you all day. I'll fight with you. I'll fist fight you, and then we can become friends afterwards. I don't give a fuck. But it's just like that's the way I always been, and that's why people do love me so much. They know I'm not fake. They know everything I'm doing is me. That's who I am. You know what I'm saying?
So it was never in you at any point to be the guy that done the stuff that needed to be done, make the money, but do it on the sly undercover.
I was always out in the open. I was sticking up jewelry stores in broad daylight. I was out of my mind. You know what I'm saying? I was just, and now I take that and put it in the podcast world. So, like, for instance, I'll be real with you. Like, let's say they put me on, like, The View, the show The View, for instance, right?
Yeah.
I have nothing to protect. I have a lethal mouth. They would kick me off that show in 3.2 seconds. Anybody that puts me on these shows, I don't have nothing to protect. I'm Gene Borrello, the former gangster that don't give a fuck about who you are. You could be the God. As long as you say something I don't like, I'm gonna say something back to you. So you gotta understand what you're gonna get out of me. It's never gonna be where I'm faking and being an actor and going, oh well, I'm a changed man now. No, I'm a changed person, but like, don't fuck with me. I'll still go off on you. You know what I'm saying?
Have you ever gotten any pushback from anyone with any sort of celebrity status or known status that didn't want to talk or didn't want to associate or didn't want to take a picture or anything like that? Because you've
Nah,
been around a lot of people.
they love me.
You've met a lot of people.
So the crazy part is that like, and I know people are gonna be like, oh, he's what do you call that? Egotistic and all that stuff. I did get a little ahead of myself with stuff because like I was going to California and Beverly Hills to private parties, and I was sitting down with like writers from Ghost to go show Ghost
Yeah.
and a lot of this stuff, and I was there with Sammy Gavano, and they were looking at us like we were real celebrities. And to my brain, I'm laughing and I'm like, I'm not a celebrity. I was a thug that was a part of the mob. But these people are literally coming over, wants to take pictures with us, wants autographs. And I'm in my brain going, Sammy killed 19 people. What is he autographing? Like, what is he autographing? Tombstones? Like, I'm trying to figure this shit out. Like, we're laughing, me and him. I'm telling Sammy, like, can you imagine that we're considered celebrities now? Our names get Googled more times than actors. Like, my Google Analytics, my name was getting Googled like 30,000 times a month. That's like an actor, like a famous actor. So it's like, we start thinking like, what the fuck is going on here? You know what I'm saying? But we understand people love true crime. They love the
They
controversy. They
love it.
love that life. And I'm going places and people want to take pictures with me, autographs. I get stopped all the time in Tampa, Miami, all the time. And Gene Borrello, I love your shit. You're hysterical. Da da da. I'm on an elevator with my girlfriend. The elevator opens. Gene Borrello, what's up, motherfucker? I knew that was you. That's what I'm saying. So it's like you start. It's just it happens. You know what I mean?
Well, I think we said that on the last episode. It's like, even though it's not necessarily everybody's favorite, but The Godfather is considered one of the best movies ever made.
Right.
Goodfellas is definitely one of the best mob movies ever made.
Right.
Sopranos is regarded the best TV show ever made. It's not a coincidence that all those films evolve around the same world and the same shit. People love this shit.
Right.
And
They do.
they get an insight. Me myself, I've been fascinated with mob movies since I can remember. The first time I ever seen fucking Goodfellas, the first gangster movie I ever seen was Casino. And I watched it. It was on pay-per-view back in the day. I told my dad about it. I'm like, Dad, you seen this movie Casino? He's like, yeah, all them guys were in Goodfellas. And I'm like, what's
Right.
Goodfellas? And after that, it was just like, boom. If there was a mob movie out, I watched it. Fucking
Right.
Once Upon a Time in America, whatever. I was in it. And I've always been fascinated by it. And I think the world has. And that's why when you have the opportunity to have guys on like you, like Anthony Arlotta, Anthony Ruggiano, Sammy, Michael, whoever, it is an inside look that you're never even going to get from a movie, because even a movie isn't going to give you everything, and they can't, detail it all. They got to scale some shit down.
Right.
You're not going to get a look like that from anywhere else but cooperators. That's just the end of the day. That's all it is.
And also, you got to understand, I was part of the new generation. So you have all these ex-mob guys that were the 60s, 70s, 80s. I'm the only one out here for modern day. So it made it even more beneficial. Like my mom and everyone's telling me, Gene, you were like the perfect storm for this situation. Like everything fell in right because you're younger. They don't know about the modern day stuff. They don't know about the old stories. Like you're related to a big time guy. You work for big time people. You have the violent stories that they want to hear. So it was like the perfect time, perfect. Just YouTube was just going into like these podcasts. It's just everything just lined up perfect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. When you went to MDC Brooklyn,
yeah,
that was when you were in there with Sam Freed
and Fetty Wap and all them. Yeah.
I say that to kind of parlay into this because you've been on the news, not necessarily in a bad way, but News Nation quite a bit here lately.
Yeah, 6
and
times.
They've had you on there basically kind of highlighting the conditions of that particular jail. What is that?
The unit. It's the unit because there's a special unit for like the guys that we go in, the high profile guys, the co-op. Like there's only one
where
unit.
Diddy is.
Yeah, you got to be approved to go in there by prosecutors, and it's a whole process to get in there. Yeah.
So I've heard some stories about, you had to stick up for Sam Freed in there.
Yeah.
It's not exactly a picnic.
No, but it's not like the other side.
It's not Rikers either.
It's not the other side of MDC Brooklyn. It's not the population side, which is horrible too.
What is Diddy's conditions right now in jail? What is
hanging out in the bed, just watching fucking TV, nothing going on.
I don't know if it's real because so much shit is fabricated on the internet nowadays. But there was a video leaked of him riding a goddamn scooter in the middle of there.
No, there's no fucking scooter, and that's not even the unit they're in. It's the fucking that's not even the unit.
What the fuck is that? I mean,
that's not even 4 North. 4 North don't have cells. It's dorms. It's not even that.
What do you think is going to happen with that situation?
He's going to get 30 years.
30.
100%. Something that nature.
Why do you think that?
Because on the charges that he has, it's going to be minimum mandatories, and his minimum mandatory is going to be something like that. You can't. So let me break down. With a minimum mandatory, you can't go under it unless you have cooperation.
Right. And who's he going to? There's one guy that he could cooperate on.
Well, listen. With the federal system, it goes like this. It's not like the state. You cop out to guidelines. If you have a minimum mandatory, the only thing a federal judge cannot do is go under your minimum mandatory. So if you have a minimum of 20 years, you have to get 20 years minimum without cooperation. If you cooperate, he can give you 1 day to 1,000,000 years. He has the whole board. But with minimum mandatory, he has to give you your minimum mandatory no matter what. So if he has a 30 to life sentence, he's getting 30 years. That's his minimum. That's his minimum. You understand? So I don't know what he's going to cop out to a guideline. It could be 15 to life. It could be anything. Well, then you get recommendations. He's going to have something with a life at the end.
You want to know what's funny though? Not funny. That's the wrong choice of words. But what's odd is as popular as Diddy was, everybody talked about him. Athletes, singers, actors, Oprah. I mean, there wasn't a person around. There might have been a few here and there, but nobody really in the mainstream media that didn't have a picture with Diddy, and nobody is coming to that dude's defense. Not a fucking soul.
No, because he's guilty. They know what he was doing. They all know what the fuck he was doing. He was a fucking sicko, bro. Something wrong with that dude.
Do you think Jay-Z was involved in any way?
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt there's so many people involved because at the end of the day, I'm not justifying anything you're doing, but these girls that they were bringing there, they could have been 16, but they thought they were 18. You don't even know. You know what I'm saying? That's the fucked up part. And I'm not sticking up for them. They're wrong, but you got some girls that were probably coming to that party that were underage, but they didn't even know they were underage fucking these rappers. You
Yeah,
know what
no,
I'm saying?
I agree with that.
And now they're coming forward going, I was a victim. You know what I'm saying? So you don't, there was victims. 100% he was doing fucked up shit. But the other people that were there could just thought they were groupies, don't know anything about them. Diddy got them all underage. They don't know. They're sleeping with these girls. Now they're like, fuck, we were banging 16-year-olds. You know what I'm saying? That's what I believe happened a lot. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, because like you got to think too, in those parties, it's just full of women. Whoever you think you're going to get, you're not going to take the time to ID
Bro,
nobody.
he's
And trust
throwing.
me, I'm trying to say this in the most respectable way.
Yeah.
There are 16, 17-year-old girls that could definitely pass for 18, 19,
Bro,
20, 21.
you won't even know the difference between 17 and 18. You can't. It's impossible. If you look at that ID, like, are you serious? But I'm saying, like, Diddy knew what he was doing. I think that he had
Oh
his
yeah,
little
yeah,
sex.
yeah.
He had his sex trafficking ring, and he was bringing the girls probably for everybody, and they don't know what's what unless she's like 12 or 11. That's like, all right,
Yeah,
he
that's
knew,
different.
right?
That's a
But
little bit.
what he was doing, I believe a lot of celebrities were part of it, and I believe a lot were not. They were there, but didn't know the situation. Now they're like, fuck, I did wrong. I didn't even know it. They're all scared. Like Leonardo DiCaprio, who's one of my favorites, he's no good. He's
Yeah.
no good.
I think a
He's no
lot of
good.
people are scared right now in Hollywood, bro. I think a
After
lot of
Kusha,
people are.
after Kusha, he's no good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them that were in on that shit for sure. They knew what they were doing.
Yeah. And
A
I
lot of them.
believe even the fact if they didn't know what was going on, just say if, party shut down at 3, but then another party began at 3:30.
Yeah.
The fact that they were there is still a bad look. And I think he has dirt on so many motherfuckers. That's why nobody's really coming out. They're not coming out in support of him, but they're also not coming out bashing him because they're probably scared
Well,
to fucking death
not
of
only
what he may
that,
have.
a lot of them probably were victims of him, that they were
Yeah.
getting
Then you're
banged
not
by
going to talk.
him, and they don't want that to come out. Justin Bieber, I heard, was being tortured by all of them. A lot of them that were in on that stuff. They said Justin Bieber was going through it. A lot of these celebrities, there's a lot of things coming out with a lot of people that were going through a lot of shit with this guy. You know what I'm saying? He was doing a lot of gay stuff to a lot of people, you know?
And then the book that came out that was alleged to be written by his ex-wife, it was went a little crazy on Amazon. I mean, there's still reports if that book is 100% accurate, but even with that, there was a lot of stuff in there that he was basically running Bad Boy Records like a fucking crime family.
Oh, 100%. So was Suge Knight. Those were crime syndicates just with people with gangsters in it and just making rap music. That's all it was. They were all gangbangers. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's what it is. You know what I mean? But I don't think he was actually a gangster. I think the money got to his head and he just put bad people around him. I don't think Diddy is an actual gangster. I think what happened, he was a created gangster. And I'm gonna show you why. When you start getting money like that and you're around bad guys, you start believing that you're this
Oh,
crime boss and you want to like that's what happens. He probably never busted a grape in a fruit fight, this guy. But because he was around all these bad guys and he had them at his hands, I could be this gangster now with all these bad guys and get people hurt and do all this stuff and never lift a fucking finger. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
He has all these millions of dollars. He's ahead of himself, women. Now he's beefing, all this stuff. And he's thinking like he's his gangster now, which he's not. He's a fucking backup dancer. That's what he started as. He was a dancer. You know what I'm saying? Tupac, I'm pretty sure, was gay. They have videos. Tupac is gay. I'm almost positive Tupac was gay.
Yeah,
No, I'm being honest with you.
no,
He's
no,
a
I know. I
fucking
seen the video you're talking about. If you'd have told me this 6 months ago, I'd been like, "Fuck no, he was the
yo.
furthest
No
thing from
gangster
gay."
acts like that. That's what
That
gay.
video of him in that bedroom when he's got the
He
hand motions and
listen to
shit.
me. He looks gay. He was an actor. They said a lot of guys came out and said he was not no gangster. It was all persona.
They
Uh,
said it was after Juice. Michael J. White was on Vlad, and he was talking about. He said, "You
yes.
look at him before he done the role of Bishop and Juice," and he said when he done that role, something clicked, and it he just embodied that role, and he never left it, and then he took that to everything else that he did.
I am
But that is
100%
the
sure that he is gay. He was gay. He liked men. There's no doubt about it that he was into men. And that whole thing was just an act. Was there real serious gangsters around them? 100%. There was all killers around them. But
yeah.
these guys that were actually starting it weren't gangsters. They were just like entertainment, money. You know what I'm saying?
And when you got the money, you can pay guys
To
like
do
you,
anything.
people that were like you, to
To do
do
anything.
gangster shit. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, he had a cop on payroll. He's the one that killed Biggie. He was a cop,
yeah.
100%. They have
Right.
proof.
well, that one guy, Rafael Perez, that
20,000.
was on there. That was who they based the movie Training Day after, was Rafael
20,000.
Perez.
$20,000. Biggie's dead. That's what they paid him.
Wow. What is your message to people in the comments or whatever? I mean, that's their only thing, because I'd say you and Ramundi get the most comments, and Ramundi for different reasons. But I'd say you get the most comments, and that's what everyone says. Oh, rat this, rat that. And look, I've never been in your position.
I don't care. I think it's hysterical because when they see me, they say hello.
Really?
You know, I swear I don't even care. I don't even look at them because it's so funny to me, because I'm like, yo, when they see me, they don't say a word. It's just like, hey, what's up, Gene? You know what I'm saying? It's just like the opposite of what they're saying.
But I think so many people, though, judge because who knows what they would do in that situation. Look, when I see my name on a paper and it said Wade Williamson versus the state of South Carolina, 25 to life in prison, and in my situation, I didn't have anybody to rattle. It was an entirely different thing. But like, I would have done whatever the fuck to get out of that. That scared me to death. And like, until you're in that position to where you're thinking you're never going to be out of the walls of a prison, you're never going to breathe fresh air, you're not going to see your kids grow up, your family, you don't know what the fuck you're going to
listen. I've been saying this since I started podcasting, and I never changed my words. You can be the biggest killer, you could be the toughest guy in the world, you could be out in the street and be like, yo, that's the most respect. I got so much respect for that guy. No matter what, no matter who you are, I've seen it firsthand. When somebody's facing more than 20 years, everybody's unsure. Nobody's ever said, oh, that guy's definitely taking 30. I've never heard it in my life. When Jerry Asaro got locked up, Ronnie was worried about his captain. That's his cousin. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody is sure. Once you're facing murders and shootings and things that are not 5, 10 years, 15, when it starts getting those 20s and 30s and 40 pieces, you don't know who the fuck is holding it down. You could be the biggest notorious gangster killer, feared, respected. Everyone's like, oh man, I'm nervous. You know what I'm saying? That's just the life or the way it is. You know what I'm saying? Until you actually cop out and take that 40, people all think you're ratting, no matter who you are. No matter who you are.
And that's why, like, at the end of the movie Casino, when you see all the bosses sitting around when they've been arrested and they're like, you know, what about this guy? What about this guy? And he's like, he's a solid, he's a Marine, he's a stand-up guy. And he's like, what do you think, Remo? And he goes, why take the chance?
Why take the chance? Listen, that's how they all think. Nobody believes in a stand-up guy. It's all bullshit. After you take the time, oh, he's a stand-up guy, he's the man. Before that, they're all sweating. Everybody. I've seen it firsthand. Look at Sammy Gavano. This guy was feared like God. He cooperated. Look at Joe Messino. He was God in the mafia world. He cooperated. This guy ordered 22 murders. Cooperated. I can name you so many people that you would never think it, but everyone's still like, yo, he's facing life. You don't know what anyone's gonna do. You know what I'm saying? It's just the way it is, bro. I'm telling you, that's life.
Do you think it's worth it to take the time, provided you don't have to do a shitload of it, and get out and still be able to say, I did my time like a man? Do you think that holds merit still at all?
Yes, it does. It does. But you know what? Like I said, I was one of those guys. And like I said, I was happy with 20. If my people would have stood by me, I would be one of those assholes. They're assholes. That's what I call them. And I was an asshole. So I would be that guy saying, you know, I held it down to come home to absolutely nothing. No one cares that you're gone. No one's giving anything for you. You can just be a hero in your own mind. But like I said, it's like, seriously. And it's like, that's what they are. They're heroes. They're legends in their own mind. Because the mafia is completely dead. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing even going on out there. So you're this guy that was doing all this work for them. You come home to no money, no nothing. Nobody did nothing for you. You just say, "Oh, I still got my name and I held it down." It's the stupidest. It's the stupidest way to think in the world.
One of the honest things that I ever heard anybody say on a podcast was with Anthony Aralotta, and he was talking about the time when he got made. And he was like, you know, they took him to the place, they do the ceremony, they prick your finger, and they say, you know, this family's before you're a real family. You know, if your mother's on your deathbed, you'll come in. And he told me, he was like, you say all the things that nobody in their right mind would ever fucking do.
Come on, bro.
Say it to appease the situation.
Come on, bro. Come on.
And
who the fuck is really doing that? My mother. You get the fuck out of here. Like, no one's even believe. The guy giving the oath doesn't believe that. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. You know, it's all proper. It's all bullshit. It's all fucking It's all hypocrite shit. Listen. It was fun while it lasted. That's all I could say. It was fun while it lasted. Okay, I can't sit here and deny it. I never worked a day in my life. I don't know what it's like to make an honest dollar. I still don't, because I have it easy the way the things I do. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, Yeah, I make an honest dollar now, but it's not like I'm laboring or breaking my ass. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's like I don't know what that's like, but I
I
could
was about to say
say,
you might want to clarify that.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. It's like I'm not putting nails in walls. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't know what that's like to labor or break your ass, but I can tell you this: my whole life, I've been through a lot. I risked my life. I made a lot of money. I live good. I had sex with the hottest women. I still do. My life is a lot different than most people's, but at the end of the day, and I'm going to send this message to everybody in the world, you have three outcomes in the world that I live. And it's always going to be the same three outcomes. I don't give a fuck what you're a part of. You're either going to be dead, you're either going to be in jail, or you're going to be a rat. That's it. That's the outcome in the crime world. Three. Okay, you're gonna live the great life. You're gonna party. You're gonna do all the same things I did. You're gonna think it's great. All your fake friends, all the bullshit. You have three outcomes, and I can't name any that didn't have these three outcomes. Maybe a handful out of all organizations. You know what I'm saying? I can't name people that did not have these three outcomes. I can't name them. Give me five people. I mean, give me five that never been to jail, that was in the organization, that wasn't killed or wasn't cooperated. Give me five guys. You can't.
It's hard. The only name that comes to mind of a big guy that rose to
Frank
power.
Costello. Frank
Well,
Costello, but I think he even did time. But I think he
I
even
think
did
he
time.
did do time. Yeah, the only guy that I never did time was Tony Carter from Chicago. He never got locked up.
I'm saying, but like, if you break it down,
But it's
if
hard to find. Like we're sitting there struggling to come out with names.
you won't think you cannot find five names that never did jail time, cooperated, or dead in that organized crime world or something like that. It don't exist. It's the same thing for everybody. And it's going to be the same outcome. You're going to live this great lavish life for maybe 10 years, 12 years, and then they take everything for you. And I'll give you a perfect example real quick. Ronnie G. Alonzo, he never did a day in prison from his birth till 36 years old. Do you know from 36 years old now till 60, he did everything in prison? Think about that. He never did one day in jail, not one, till he was 36 years old. To start bidding at 36 it's not good. Usually start at 16, 17, like that's the average criminal, always starts young. He didn't start going to jail till 36 years old. The whole second of a half of his life, gone. Gone. He'll do 20 something years the second half of his life. That's what he did. Okay? Think about
It's
that.
it's a hard thing, and I mean, even guys like Joey, that is, do I think now he's on a? I don't think he has anything to do with a criminal life now at all
No,
whatsoever.
nah.
And it, I wouldn't think he would go back to it because I think he's found a niche, kind of like you. He's found the lure of what used to be, that is the draw to get people to watch what
Listen,
he's doing.
Joey's copying me right now, and he's smart, and I'm okay with that. He's keeps talking about us for controversy. I'm cool with that. I like the drama. I know what Joey's doing. He's not dumb. He's not. They keep shadow banning him. He's not making that much money on Patreon, but he knows what'll keep them coming, and that's the drama. They love it. People love the Gene and Joey beef right now. I can't tell you how many DMs I get over it. They love that me and him are beefing right now. It's keeping this genre alive right now. I swear to God, it is.
I
It
believe that.
is.
But even him, he had to do, I think, roughly like 13 years in total. I mean, that's a lot of time in
I
prison.
think he did more than that. I think he did
Was it
more than
more?
30. No, he did like
Okay.
20 years total.
Yeah, I know
One
his
of
was a
his
little bit more
sentences was
sporadic instead of
one of
straight
his
through.
sentences was like 13 years alone.
That might have been what I'm thinking of. That's where the
Yeah,
number
he did
13 is
about
coming in.
20 years, Joe. No, he did. Listen to me. He's
That's
a
still a
definition of a
fucking,
gangster, but what
yeah.
he's doing now, he's breaking all the rules. But I'm going to give him this. And this is the thing I will give him. And I'll always say the truth, and I don't give a fuck. I don't mean him don't like each other at all. But he don't give a fuck, and he knows no one's gonna do nothing to him, and that's the bottom line. That's why he's doing it. If this was 20 years ago or 30 years ago, he's not doing this. He's dead. But he knows that. He's like, yo, he's saying the same thing I'm saying. I'm gonna keep 100 you. They're fucking herbs. Who's doing something? Nobody. It's over. They're
Yeah,
not busting a grape. He's in his brain going, who the fuck is gonna do something to me? They're all scared of me. They all respect me. They're all scared of me deep down. Fuck them.
yeah.
That's what he's saying. I'm telling you.
Yeah, because regardless of whatever he's doing now, he did do, or alleged to do enough in his time to
Bro,
where it's
listen to
earned him
me.
the right.
25 years ago, he's dead for doing
Oh yeah.
this.
Well, you are
Dead.
too. Everybody is.
Yes, we're dead. We know this. I'm
Yeah.
taking advantage of the time. I'm keeping it real to the
You
fans.
have to. Yeah,
I'm telling it to the fans and everyone that listens to me. I took advantage of the time that if there was guys out there like me still and running around and guys that are wild like them, the old guys, I'm not doing this. They're gonna kill me in broad daylight. There's no more of that in the mafia. It's washed the fuck up. Joey knows it. I know it. Dominic Sicali knows it. Anthony Aralata knows it. Johnny A. Light knows it. Mike Francis knows it. Sammy Gavano knows it. Okay? We know we're taking advantage of the times because if it was 30 years ago, we're walking the fucking plank. That's it.
no,
That's it.
I agree. I think that's a good way to end it, man. I appreciate you coming on the show. I do want to leave with this one last question. I know you and I were both Trump supporters. I'm glad he won the election. I think a lot of things are going to be getting better. I find it I don't find it as hard as most people to separate an actor from the person. I used to have a De Niro poster behind me years ago. I
Ugh.
took it down.
Ugh.
He's really not one of my favorite guys, but however, as an actor, he's fucking great. You can't deny that.
Yes. No, yes, yes,
Have
yes.
you
He played.
seen the trailer for the new movie? I think it's called Alto Nights, where he's
No.
playing Frank Costello and Vito Genovese.
Oh, wow. No, I didn't see that.
He's
No.
playing both characters, and it's coming out in a few months. There's like a 2 or 2.5 minute trailer out, and he's playing Costello and Vito. He's playing both roles.
But you know what gets me funny about Robert De Niro? And my grandfather always hated him. He's not even Italian. He's German. So it's funny that you don't realize that he's not Italian.
No, I didn't know
I
that.
bet you didn't know that. He's
No.
German mostly. If he's Italian, very small portion. Mostly he's German. But what the thing with him is that I don't even believe that he's on that side. He married a black woman.
He did.
Okay, and his kids are all biracial. Meanwhile, the blacks are with Trump more than the whites. So, well, it's the truth. He always did this because he married a black woman, and I believe that he's not really a liberal. That's my opinion. I believe it's all an act because he's with a black woman, and I think that's how he perceives it. But like I said, at the end of the day, they're not realizing that the blacks are more with fucking Trump than anybody right now. So that's
Well,
why you
that, and
need
I
to
think
just
you have to play to a certain tune if you want to still be gainfully employed in Hollywood.
in Hollywood because they're
Not
all
doing
gay.
it.
You
Yeah.
know, 90% of them are gay. Let's just be real. Hollywood is a lot of gay, and that's a lot of liberals, and that's the whole thing. You have to be careful. They run Hollywood. The gays run Hollywood. So if
There's
you're
videos
against the
out
gays,
there of De Niro being very much
listen,
against any kind of with like vaccines and shit like that. He's against it. Like he would be like, if you play that video now, you would think he's a Trumper. And
right,
then right after that, it was the complete opposite. You got to get the
right,
vaccine. You need
right.
this. You need that. So somewhere
Well,
along the lines,
they told him your career is dead.
yeah,
And that's what they did to a lot of people. Sylvester Stallone, he's out in the open. I don't give a shit. A lot of them, like, I don't care because they're worth $400 or $500 million. But think about the actor like Mel Gibson. He's got $1 billion almost, but he's nuts. They love him.
he don't give a fuck.
He don't give a fuck. But think about the ones that aren't there and they can't say that stuff because they'll never get casted again.
Yeah.
So if you're an upcoming actor, you're doing your thing, and you say fuck these liberals and all this stuff, you'll never get a part again.
Yeah.
Never. Now Stallone don't give a fuck. He's worth $500 million. He's these guys that already.
He's eating off Tulsa King money right now
Ah,
anyway. He's good.
forget. I mean, think about these guys that are Republicans that come out to it. They're worth hundreds of millions. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But the guy that isn't the actor, he can't get a cast. He won't get casted. Get the
And
gays
you
run
have those
Hollywood.
guys that are, I classify them as they're uncancelable, like
Right.
Kid Rock and
Right.
Elon Musk and Jason Aldean, the country singer. He did that song that fucking blew up, and they do concerts predicated to that of no, you can't cancel us tours and things
Right.
like that. I went to one last year in South Carolina. It must have been a fucking 100,000 people there. Everybody singing word for word everything that Kid Rock said. Huge picture, a banner of Trump up there. I mean, it was
Yeah.
it was one of the coolest things I'd ever seen.
Yeah, and I think honestly the country finally had enough what was going on. I'm gonna be honest with you. This was becoming a third world country. If Kamala would have won, this would have been like a third world country almost. It would have been disgusting. It was getting so bad. New York, you couldn't even go on the sidewalks. It was just so dirty with vendors and just gross. It just now it's cleaned up already, bro.
Even the bad shit that was going on, like the guy and I was just there 2 weeks ago and it did look cleaner. But the guy that set the lady on fire in the subway, he was an immigrant that came over from the open borders.
I
and
know.
Been over there. I think the guy that pushed the dude in the fucking subway, and somehow I know that guy lived. I don't know how that dude lived.
That poor girl, Lake, what's her name? Lake Riley. She was walking. The guy beat her with a rock and raped her. The MS-13, one of them piece of crack. It's just disgusting, man. They got to get them the fuck out of here and let ICE do their job and get them all out of here and clean it up. That's all.
Did you see that video where that guy got hit in the back on the subway and the subway ran over him?
Yeah.
But he lived.
I don't know how he lived. That's insane. I know.
Well, you want to know what it was? If you you've been in the subways before, you look. You know how the middle of it is like rutted out.
But still, I mean, if you move the wrong way and
they said that he was lucky as hell. Like he had a laceration to his scalp. He had a fucking ruptured spleen. He had broke ribs. He got fucked up, but like he was lucky he wasn't cut in half. It just he fell the perfect way.
It's like I said, the lotto ticket. He hit the lotto ticket on that one. You know.
And I guess in some ways, yeah. But he's around and tell it. He was from Florida. I think he was a DJ. He was down there doing like a club or something.
I didn't know anything about him. I just knew that he survived it. I couldn't believe it. Yeah.
Yeah, I read it. It was a DJ. I think he was from Florida. He was down there. I forgot for some event or something like that. But you got to watch it in New York, man. I go there a lot. Most of the time I go there alone in my travels, but I think it's going to get better. I think everything's going to get better.
Much better. Yes.
I'm looking forward to the next 4 years and seeing where we can get to, and then maybe Vance can just take it on after that. If they don't give Trump a third shot, I know they're talking about being able to do it.
They're gonna.
So, is there anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
No, that's it, really, man. My Instagram, Gene Borrello. My book on Amazon. New York Times bestseller, Born to Life. Working on it to become a TV show, and that's it, really.
All right, brother. Well, I appreciate you stopping by the show, man. Fun time as always. We'll catch up soon. Hopefully I'm gonna get down to Tampa, I think about a month or two, so we'll get together.
All right, bye.
I appreciate you, my friend.